Hello, fourth grade. For today, our lesson is going to be about comparing numbers, and we're going to be doing Module 1, Lesson 5. And for this lesson today, we're going to be comparing and contrasting two different numbers and eventually three different numbers. And we're going to be using our knowledge of place value to help us out with this. So let's go ahead and get started with this first problem right here. We have 3010 compared to 2040. And whenever I see numbers like this with this circle in the middle, what I'm trying to figure out is 3010, is that less than, greater than, or equal to 2040? And you may already know the answer, but we're going to prove our answers by putting these numbers into our place value chart, comparing them, and then making sure we are right that 3010 is less than, greater than, or equal to 2040. To start with this, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to write this number into the place value charts. So if I have 3010, what that tells me is I have 3 in my thousands, 0 in my hundreds, 1 in my tens, and 0 in my ones. Then I have to write my other number, 2040, so I'll write 2040 like so. And now I need to compare my largest units. So whenever you are comparing numbers, fourth grade, you always want to start with the largest unit that you have. In this number, thousands is our largest unit because that is the one that goes that's the farthest left number I have, basically. So when I take a look at my thousands place, I see that I have a 3 and I have a 2. So that means I'm comparing 3,000 versus 2,000. So fourth grade, when I look at these numbers, 3,000 versus 2,000. Oh, sorry, that's kind of a crazy zero. 3,000 versus 2,000. I want to think about, is 3,000 less than, greater than, or equal to 3,000 or 2,000? Well, I know that 3 is definitely greater than 2, and I can use my fingers to help me out with this if I need to. So I'm going to put that 3,000 is greater than 2,000. Now, since 3,000 is greater than 2,000, that tells me that 3010 is greater than 2040, because fourth grade, whenever we compare numbers, we compare our largest units or our largest place value. If there is a difference, then we just focus on that place value, and the rest of the number doesn't matter then. We don't have to really focus on any of this other stuff and compare it. Once you find your first difference, you compare there, and then that lets you know your answer. So fourth grade, what I would like you to try right now is I would like you to try 2010 compared to 4010. So you're going to put in these two numbers on the place value chart, compare them, and put the correct symbol in this circle. So go ahead and try this out. So fourth grade, for this problem, you should have put 2010 like so, and then 4010 underneath that. We will compare our largest place value, which in this case, again, is our thousands. And I compare 2000 versus 4000. So if I have 2000 compared to 4000, I can even again use my fingers, and I see that 2 is definitely less than 4. So 2000 is less than 4000, which means that 2010 compared to 5010, 2010 is less than 4010. And if you stop and think about it, that makes a lot of sense. So you should have got, if you got that one correct, awesome job. If not, just please remember that you're only looking at the largest place value and then not really worrying about the rest of the numbers. So fourth grade, let's take a look at our second problem then. And for this second problem, we're going to be comparing two numbers that are a little bit bigger this time. So we have 43,021 compared to 45,302. And again, just like before, I'm going to compare my largest place value, which in this case is the 10,000, since that's all the way to the left. And what I run into now is that I have 4 10,000s versus 4 10,000s. So if I were to write that out, I would have 40,000 compared to 40,000. Well, I know that 40,000 is not less than 40,000. I know that 40,000 is not greater than 40,000, but I do know that 40,000 equals 40,000. If you have a place value that equals the same thing, what you do then is just move on to the next place value. So then when I look at my next place value, I see that I have 3,000s compared to 5,000. Oh, hopefully you can see that. 5,000. And when I compare 3,000 versus 5,000, I could even, again, use my fingers. I know that 3 is definitely less than 5. So I'll use the less than symbol. And then what that tells me is that 43,021 is less than 45,302. Remember, it does not matter that our first two numbers equal the same thing. If they equal the same thing, we just move on to the next place value, compare those two, and then insert the symbol after we find out the answer. So fourth grade, I want you guys to try this now on your own. So you're going to have 54,255 compared to 54,010. You're going to put both of those numbers into this chart and then compare. All right, so fourth grade, by this point, you should have found the answer for this problem. So let's try this out together now. So we have 54,255, and then we have the number 54,010. So fourth grade, just like before, I start with my largest place value, which is my 10,000s place value. I have 50,000 here and 50,000 here. I know that both of those numbers are equal to each other. So I'll move on to my next place value, which is my thousands place. I have 4,000 here and 4,000 here. Again, those are equal to each other, but that does not mean I stop. I'll move on to my next place value and look at my hundreds. And in my hundreds place, I'm going to be comparing now 200s and 0 hundreds. So I can now compare these two place values because they are finally different. So we're going to have 200 versus 0. So I know that 200s is definitely greater than 0, which then tells me that 54,255 is greater than 54,010. So I found my first difference. I compare those, and then I'm all done. Let's take a look at our final problem together, fourth grade. So for this problem, let me just erase this all real fast. For this last problem, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be comparing these three numbers. And when we compare three numbers, you could use the symbols to help you with that. But another thing we can do is just write the numbers into our place value chart and compare from there. So for example, we have this number right here, 32,434. I'm going to write a line here, and then I'm going to write my next number, 32,644. Then I will move on to my last number, which is 32,534. Now, what I need to do fourth grade is I need to compare all of my place values just like I've done previously. So we look in our largest place value, which is our 10,000s. I have 30 10,000s or 3 10,000s in each of these sections. So that tells me that these are all the same, and I need to move on to the next place value. In my thousands place, all of these numbers have 2,000s. So since they're all the same and equal, I'll move on to my next place value, which is my hundreds. In my hundreds place value, I now have different values. So we have 400, 600, and 500. What I'm going to start with is I need to find the largest place value. So the largest place value, or the one with the largest amount of hundreds, is definitely this one right here with 600s. So I'm going to write a number 1 over here, or I could even write it over here just to show that this is the largest number. After that, then we need to take a look at our second largest place value. So since I already used up that 6, we're not going to worry about that. But I have two other place values. I have 500 and 400. Now I have to see what is the next greatest. So the next greatest would definitely be 500. So we can put a 2 over here, or we could put a 2 over here. Doesn't really matter. But that shows me that this is my second greatest number, which leaves this one up at the top to be our last largest number. And that is all you have to do when you want to compare multiple numbers. So fourth grade, what you are going to try now is you're going to try these numbers off to the side: 16,025, 16,546, and 16,248. So you're going to take these three numbers, write them in the charts, compare them, and then put them in the correct order from greatest to least. All right, fourth grade. So for this problem, we have 16,025. Then we have 16,546. And if you need to, write, you can put these lines in between your numbers to kind of keep them organized in the correct row. And then finally, we have 16,248. To compare these three numbers, I'm going to start with looking at my 10,000 spots. They all have the same value in their 10,000 spots, so I'll move on to the next one. They all have the same value in their 1,000 spots, so I'll move on to the next place value, which leaves me at my hundreds. So we have 0 hundreds here, 5 hundreds here, and 2 hundreds here. When I look at these numbers, I want to think about what is the greatest amount so far, and that would be 500. So I'm going to put a nice little 1 next to that because that's my greatest number. Then I think about what is my next greatest number. Well, I'm comparing 0 hundreds and 2 hundreds, and I definitely know that 2 hundreds is greater than 0, and that leaves me with 0 hundreds in last place. So fourth grade, we have 16,546, then we have 16,248, and then we have 16,025 as our final answer. So you should have gotten them in this order. If you did not get them in this order, you may have either just flip-flopped the order, or you may have skipped a place value. So make sure you're always going one place value at a time when you are comparing. Fourth grade, for your homework today, what you guys are going to do is either you have the option of completing the problems in this Jamboard, or you can complete these same problems in your Succeed book, but we're just doing these two problems. What you're going to do is you're going to use this chart, and then you're going to compare and contrast these two numbers at the bottom. So 600,015 compared to 60,015. Write both numbers in the chart, and then after that, put the correct symbol, either less than, greater than, or equal to. Then you'll have one more problem, and the same thing for this one. You're just going to write these two numbers on the charts and then compare them using the correct symbol in the circle. Remember, you can either do this on the Jamboard or in your Succeed book. It does not matter which one you do it in, as long as you somehow show me your work. If you guys have any more questions or you need any help with this, let me know, and I will help you out in the fourth grade help room. And if not, I hope you enjoy your math lesson for today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.